You mentioned Liz Cheney. We'll note she played a role in Kari Lake's defeat as well, first by saying this to a room full of college students at a forum last month in Arizona.
I say this as somebody who, my first vote I ever cast, I was 18 years old and I voted for Ronald Reagan. So for almost 40 years now, I've been voting Republican. I don't know that I have ever voted for a Democrat. But if I lived in Arizona now, I absolutely would. And for governor and for Secretary of State. And I think, we cannot be in a position where we elect people who will not fundamentally uphold the sanctity of elections. And I think that's got to be, more important than anything else.
So that was early October. Those comments followed by an ad campaign funded by Cheney's Political Action Committee targeting Lake and Mark Finchem, also an election denier, who was the Republican nominee for Secretary of State in Arizona. Finchem, as we mentioned, lost his election as well. At the time, Lake sarcastically thanked Cheney for the ad buy, claiming it had backfired and saying her team is now receiving more donations because of it. Well, after NBC News called the governor's race last night for Hobbs, Cheney responded to Lake on Twitter, writing, quote, "You're welcome." So there you have it. Liz Cheney gets the last word in Arizona.
Yes,
I will
she
tell you
does.
What, Kari Lake just keeps setting herself up.
She does.
I mean, and again, Sam Stein, Arizonans know BS when they see it, and then setting Liz Cheney again. She is like, who was it, Abbott or Costello? I guess Costello is the straight man. She is the straight man for Arizona.
A good old Abbott and Costello reference on Morning Joe, a classic of the genre, yes. To your point, it's all about addition versus subtraction. If you spend the entire campaign, telling people to get out, telling people that they're losers, begging off moderate Republicans or Republicans who just don't think like you, it becomes a lot harder to win. And I think, what Kari Lake is waking up to today is that she did not, the big bet that she could just plow her way forward and energize enough MAGA Republicans in her state, enough Liz Cheney haters, enough John McCain haters, that it didn't work. And I think the Republican Party writ large is waking up to this idea that, bullying your way through a primary may work, but bullying your way through a general election is a lot harder.
Yeah, one last thing, Mika. I mentioned the swing states that Donald Trump lost in his endorsements. He did back J.D. Vance, though most people aren't considering Ohio a swing state anymore, given the last few years.